Alright, in the last video, we looked at an example where you were going to buy photographs from one of your friends and resell them in an art festival. And we said that the art prints that we are going to buy were going to cost $30 a print. And so that was our variable cost. And we were planning to sell these things for $45 a print. And that gives a contribution of $15 for every print that we sold. And we figured to get to the festival and pay for the festivals we had, and that would count to a fixed cost of about $3,000. And we looked at a few different scenarios. We looked at how many units we had to sell to break even, and we came up with 200 units right there. And we also looked at how many units we would have to sell to earn $1,500 of profit, and we came up with 300 units. Well, in this video, we're going to look at how changes in sales price or volume or changes in our cost structure between fixed and variable costs will affect this calculation. Because let's say that we come up with this, that we need to sell 300 units at this art festival, right? But we realize that that's completely unrealistic. We have to say that it's not possible to sell 300 units in one weekend. It's probably not going to happen. And after doing a little bit of research, we think that the sales price of $45 a unit might be too high. When we look at most of the other photographs that are selling at the art festival, we figured that we couldn't sell these prints for more than $40 a unit. And so we thought that this $45 that we came up with was too high. And remember, we determined that just using cost plus pricing, we marked up the cost by 50%. But maybe after we did a little bit of research, we decided we're going to be able to sell these prints only for $40 a unit, right? We're not going to be able to sell them for $45. So we're going to use target pricing. We're going to try to come up with a cost structure that will support selling these units or selling these prints for $40 a unit. So let's look at that. So my variable cost is going to be the same, my sales price, and we're going to use target pricing. And after research, we say, hey, we're not going to be able to sell these things for more than $40 a unit. So we're going to come up with the cost structure that will support selling at $40 a unit. Now, if I sell at $40 a unit, my contribution margin's going to drop to only $10 a unit. So I'm going to have a much lower contribution margin. My fixed cost is going to be exactly the same. So let's look at what it would take to earn a $1,500 profit. So remember, to calculate, we just take our fixed cost plus our desired profit and divided by the contribution margin per unit. So let's work this out. So our fixed cost is $3,000 and the profit we want to make is $1,500. And our contribution margin per unit when we change our sales price to $40 is now only $10. So divided by 10, and that gives us 450 units. So to earn $1,500 at this art festival, we're going to have to sell 450 units. And we already said, we thought that it was going to be hard to sell 300 units, right? So selling 450 is going to be impossible. So our current cost structure is not going to work out. One way to decrease the amount of units that we want to sell is by decreasing the variable cost, such that it increases our contribution margin. So maybe we can go back to a friend and say, hey, look, we cannot pay you $30 a print. It's just not possible. There's not that much markup on them. And in order for others to be a good deal for us, the most that we can pay you per print is $20. So if you want to do this and sell them to us at a cost of $20, we'll consider it. And let's say that our friend thinks about it and he says, all right, that sounds fair, and that he'll sell, and then he decides to sell it to you for $20 a print. So this might be good news. Our variable cost is now only $20 a print, and that increases our contribution margin to $20 a unit or $20 a print. By increasing our contribution margin, we just change the denominator in this formula over here. We still have $3,000 as fixed cost. We still have a desired profit of $1,500. But now the contribution margin per unit is $20, which means that we only need to sell 225 units to earn profit of $1,500. So this is getting more reasonable. 225 units is much more reasonable But let's say when we are looking at this and we're really thinking about it, we think that it's not possible to sell more than 150 units. So we can only sell 150 units at this festival, and that's at a price of $40 unit. And so selling 225 is still probably unreasonable. So we've already negotiated the best variable cost that we possibly can, the best price on these prints from our friend, and so the only other thing that we can really change is our fixed cost. And we can change our fixed cost by saying, okay, look, we can't spend 3,000 to attend the festival. We're going to have to do it cheaper. We're going to have to stay maybe in a cheaper hotel. Maybe we'll drive instead of taking a flight. But we'll have to cut costs. And let's say once we've sat down and looked at the situation, we figured that hey, we can do this really cheaply. We can attend the festival for maybe $1,500. So in this case, my fixed cost would drop down to $1,500, and we can change our profit formula over here. So it will be $1,500 fixed cost plus $1,500 of profit divided by contribution margin per unit of 20. And that would mean that we'd have to sell 150 units to earn $1,500, and we believe that is very possible. We feel very confident that at a sales price of $40 unit, we can sell 150 units. And if we do that, we'll earn $1,500, and you can check that by just making a contribution margin income statement. So our revenue for the conference would be 150 units, and we're going to sell these for $40 a unit. So 150 times 40, which would be $6,000. Our variable cost would be a 150 units times $20 a unit. And that's our new variable cost, which is $3,000. And that gives us a contribution margin of $3,000. And then our fixed cost is of $1,500. So my net income or profit for the art festival would be $1,500.